Hey guys, I'm Helena. So, if you haven't noticed it, like from the screenshot from the beginning, um, I'm not at home currently, so this is also why I look horrible, because the lighting is really, really off, and I basically look as if I'm part of the Addams family. But honestly, Wednesday season 2 is coming out. I don't have Netflix, so I can't see it, but this is just the vibe we're going with currently. Also, this is not my color, so uh, so now we're going to go like a little bit into a recap of Bayreuth. Shockingly, so as you know, I was in Lohengrin, Rhinegold, and the Valkyrie, and yeah, let's just jump in. So Lohengrin hasn't been, as far as I remember, hasn't been on stage in Bayreuth since I think 2022. And I mean, the production is still beautiful. It's still wonderful. It's Christian Thielemann. This is the reason why Lohengrin is on stage in the first place, because they wanted him back. And this was like the first thing they could do. To not have a new production with him, but to have him with this older production that he was with. And I mean, he was great, but, and this is the big but, and I may have, or I did tease it before, like in the Valkyrie thoughts, is the costumes. So the costumes were more or less the same, with two persons, not in the same costumes as before. And unfortunately for them, and this is why I'm gonna drag them, it was my favorite too. Out of all the people that they changed Ortrud and Friedrich. And I mean, I get it. This is such a great and detailed production, and they probably don't have the space to just keep all the costumes. But I don't know, I felt so sorry also. I think Ortrud was the first year in Bayreuth, and I mean, I don't know her. I don't know her, never seen her before. I think she's like Brünnhilde in Munich now. I don't know her. But if I were to sing Ortrud in Bayreuth, in this production, where one of the greatest Wagnerian singers, Waltraud Meyer, you know it's me and the Meyers, differently spelled obviously, but you're in this production with this role that was originated by one of the greatest Wagnerian singers in this production ever. Don't listen to my singing teacher ever. She's great, she's fabulous. And then I'm coming there, and it's like, oh girl, you don't have two costumes, you only have one, which you like wear through all of this. And like, also, we're not gonna give you the gloves that the last Ortrud had, 2022. And also, like, the cloak that you're wearing in the second act. Yeah, we don't have that anymore, so you're just gonna have this like sliver of a cloak down your back. And also, like, you know, the iconic picture at the end of the second act where it's like Lohengrin is standing there and Elsa sitting by his side, and she has this like sheepish expression and looking up to him, and Ortrud comes from behind like she's, as Wagner put it, the snake in paradise. And yeah, we're not going to do this with you. I'd be pissed, people. I'd be so pissed. I don't know. Even I mean, I know it's Bayreuth. It's a dream come true, but like I'd still be pissed. I'm still like kind of pissed for her. So I have a few pictures of this. So this was like our Ortrud. So this was what she looked like with us, and this is what she wore the whole thing through. And this was Waltraud Meyer. Can we see the detail? Yeah, this was the pen. Can you see the bloody detail on this thing? This is probably hand stitched. I mean, I get it that they didn't want to have like all the expenses again for a production that's only gonna be this year. And this was the second dress, which she also didn't get, but because why? Like people, anyway. I'd be so pissed, and I'm kind of pissed for her because she was so good. She was so amazing as Ortrud, and unlike the Ortrud from 2022, she didn't forget her lines. Also great. By the way, yeah, I don't know about you, but when I love someone, I kind of learn these lines in the back of my head. Like, not in the back of my head, I don't know the English word for that, but subconsciously. There we are. I kind of learn the words subconsciously, so I can speak the words with them on stage. So I knew that she like totally forgot 2 lines, which is fine. It's completely fine. Let's be very real with this. It's completely fine with Wagner to forget your effing lines. It's so much. It's so complicated. It's not like I'm gonna drag Mozart here. I don't know. I'm in a drag mood today. Anyway, it's not like with Mozart where it's very similar to other stuff, or with Handel where it's basically you've got 6 minutes and original music is just 1 minute, basically. This is complicated, and I don't blame anyone for forgetting their lines. I'm just saying this year's Ortrud was not forgetting her lines. Just saying, putting it out there. And I thought she was really great, and I think that she would have deserved that, to have the whole Ortrud experience, so to say. I'm not even gonna attempt to say her name. Or you know what, I might, because I have been dragging today, so I should be dragged too from all the Finnish people. I'm so down. Anyway, so her name is Minna-Liisa Verela. Verela. I kind of said this in what I think Finnish would sound like with an English accent. It's horrible. Anyway, where do we have that? So here she is. And you probably couldn't see that because it's changed. But anyway, so she was really great. She was wonderful. I also read the articles about Lohengrin and about Friedrich von Telramund, who is played by the same singer who plays Alberich. And they say, oh yeah, maybe Alberich and Friedrich von Telramund may have been a bit too much. Maybe that was just in the premiere. I thought he was great. I think he was better as Alberich because I saw him in both. I think he was better in Alberich, but that doesn't make him horrible in Lohengrin. I think that was maybe in the premiere because he had just sung The Ring before, and then he was maybe okay, good. I've been Alberich in 3 out of 4 parts in The Ring. I'm out. But he was really, really great, and his was the other costume that they kind of, changed. I won't say destroyed, but I don't know, with this one it was much worse in my perception than it was with Ortrud's, because the whole thing with this Lohengrin specifically is that it's all blue. We might have already noticed that, but it's all blue. And if I remembered correctly, and please feel free to say something in the comments if I say it wrong, obviously. Neo Rauch and Rosa Loy, they created a blue, a very, very dark and deep blue. And this is the blue everything is based upon, and it's just washed with white. So you have this darkest blue, and if I remember it correctly, Friedrich is the one with the darkest blue, and Elsa is the one with the lightest blue. So, only with white, nothing else. And then Friedrich comes and he has like golden sleeves. And I'm like, what? Why? Did I miss something? Why is this gold there? It was so aesthetically disturbing. I don't know, maybe it was just me. Probably it was just me because I'm a perfectionist and I love this production so much. And again, everything else stayed the same, but those two. And I felt just so sorry for Mina Lisa. I'm so sorry. Probably, yeah. Drag me through the mud in the comments, please, because I deserve it. But anyway, I just felt so sorry for her because it's such a great role, it's such a great production. One where it's actually like pro Ortrud, if you get what I mean. But she didn't get like all the benefits she could out of this role. Again, I know it's just for 1 year. After this, it's never gonna be played again. It hasn't been played in 3 years since 2022. I get it that they cannot have everything the same. But I still feel sorry for her. Also, Elsa was also cool. Like, the singer was phenomenal. I just don't like Elsa. We've been there. I've said it. I don't like everything that starts with an E. I tolerate Ava. I can live with Elisabeth. I don't like Elsa. And I'm not a feminist. Like, I'm not one of those, okay, girl, get everything you want and don't have anything to do with men or whatever. I don't know what feminists say. But, like, the partnership of Ortrud and Friedrich, and this is what it made it bad in the eyes of the 19th century, is that they're relatively equal. Even though he's a man, he's the title. She had a title once and all of that, but they're relatively equal. And Elsa is like this. We've talked about this, I think, during my episode about Lohengrin. But she was really good as a singer. Piotr Bekchauer, I've learned this recently. Bekchauer was also phenomenal. I've never seen him before live. I've only have him on DVD in this production. So I thought he was absolutely great. The only like sad thing about this was, well, my mom's a great Klaus Florian Vogt fan, and at one evening Bekchauer fell ill and Klaus Florian Vogt stepped in to sing Lohengrin. She was like, why did we not go this evening? She was kind of upset about this, but only because she loves Vogt so much, as a person, as how he looks, as how he sings. This is like not a dig against Bekchauer. He was great. He was wonderful. My mom agreed with that, but she loves Klaus Florian Vogt so much. Yeah, I think this is everything about Lohengrin. Also, like, there's the king as well as the Heerrufer. I was like, I know these people. I know these faces. Even through all the white makeup, which I look like I'm part of the production. Through all the makeup and the blue hair, and I was like, I know these people. And then it came out like the one's Gunther and the other one's Hagen from the Ring. So yeah, I know my people. So second thing is, before we go into the Ring, is Meistersinger. So I haven't seen it on stage, obviously, because it's completely booked, and I was of the false impression that it would be played again next year, which it is not. Maybe it will come back. I hope it will come back. It looked pretty expensive, this thing. The production, the stage production, the buildings, like, people, come on. You cannot just throw this out. This must have been pretty expensive. Also, the Oval Office. That's what they called it in the third act. Anyway, I thought this would come back next year. And if Christa Meyer, there we are again, the Meyers, would have sung again as Magdalene, then I would have seen it, gone seen it. Now they're not gonna play it next year, which I think is quite weird. I think, and this is like not a dig against Bayreuth, because obviously I'm still gonna go next year and all, but I thought the program for next year is quite weird. So originally I think there was the plan that they have everything next year plus Rienzi. So Rienzi is something that Wagner did not want on the Green Hill, specifically not want on the Green Hill, but they said, we're gonna go with it like 150 years. It's next year. It will be 150 years for Bayreuth, since the premiere of the very first string in 1876. So next year, 150 years. So they wanted to have everything. Now it's like broken down into Rienzi, the Flying Dutchman, which is not even the program like this year. There's no Tannhäuser, there's no Lohengrin. Is there Tristan? I'm not sure about Tristan. Not sure about this. I don't think so, because they didn't even fill the house this year with this production. No Meistersinger. A new ring, which is also a bit controversial. May I say that? It's a bit controversial next year, because it seems like it's more of a video thing than an actual production. Don't know. And there's gonna be Parsifal. So it's really broken down due to them not having enough money, which I totally get. Like, unfortunately, God, I have something in my eye. Anyway, it's like a bit disappointing with next year, but we're gonna talk about this year's Meistersinger. Also, if you're in Germany or if you have access to German apps, which I think like half of my audience is like German, or at least based in Germany, so you could be able to download the ARD app, ARD Mediathek, and then you can watch the whole Meistersinger, and you can also screen record it. Just saying, if you want, so you can see it online if you're interested in it. If not, then not. After the last production of Meistersinger, which I have seen a few scenes, but as a German it is quite, how shall I put this, disturbing, because Meistersinger normally is the funniest of Wagner's works, and they made it into the darkest because it's in Nuremberg, and we all know what Nuremberg has got to do with them. Historically, we've all been there. We've all seen it in like history lessons and stuff. So after this very dark last production, this production was much lighter and much funnier. Like we had bouncy trees at one point. Not bouncy, but like those kind of trees. And there was like this box ring in the second act, and there was tubas of David and Beckmesser fighting against each other. And then there were 4 people, like 2 Beckmessers and 2 Davids, and they were like, it was kind of funny. Anyway, I liked the production. I didn't like it as much as like the very, very conservative thing in New York. I think it's currently played in New York still, that I've shown you the DVD of. Not because, well, let's say it like this. I'm German, so this whole Germany is superior thing, like, no. We've been there, we've done that, we're not going there again. Well, we could argue that anti-Semitism is back on the rise again in Germany, which is horrible. And we had this motto once about never again, and like, now we're here again. Never mind. I hope there are at least some people who come to reason back again in this country, but well, Anyway, so for me as a German, this is really weird, especially the whole Germany is superior and we should vergesst die alten Meister nicht und dieses ganze Zeug. So this is, it's weird. It's weird. And I mainly love Meistersinger just for the love story between Magdalene and David, because let's be real, it's the only Wagnerian work where a mezzo-soprano goes out happy and with a guy. That's it. That's why I love it. It's like a beautiful love story, and it shows that love defies age, also not in the conventional way of having an older man and a younger woman, which is also talked about, which is very creepy. The whole like, I get a wife and a daughter in one, like, no, thank you, we're out. But also like this older woman and younger man, because let's not forget it, David's still a boy and Magdalene's a nurse, so there's at least like 20 years of age difference, probably. So I like this, and also they're quite funny. Like it for that. And the music's beautiful, obviously. So I like the production. I mostly like the costumes. I think whoever did those t-shirts, like, I would like to meet this person, because the t-shirts were wild. Like David's t-shirt, you just have to see it, because even if I try to describe it, you would not believe it, really. So yeah, the only thing, and you know me, I'm always a bit into color theory, which does not get me off of wearing something like this, which makes me look horrible. Or also orange, which also makes me look horrible, but I'm literally having a t-shirt back up in orange. Anyway, so Christa Meyer is a very pale woman, and obviously the light makes her even paler. I mean, look at me. This is Addams Family. Let's be real. Addams Family, me and her, both, in this case. And she's got dark brown to black hair. What does that tell us? Do not put her in pastels. Very easy. She's a high contrast woman. You cannot put on her light pinks, light purples, light blues, all of which they did. And made her look sick. Right on stage. She didn't glow. She looked... I mean, we all know she's a beautiful woman, you know? And this is the first time that I've not seen her wear either black or dark blue. So this was kind of like okay, color theory is color theory. This was very, very obvious. So she did not look healthy at all in this like pink and purple and light pink and purple. So in the third act, they were like, oh yeah, maybe we'll put her in black and white. And what do we say? She looked gorgeous. Just how she should. Because we know color theory is a thing, and a high contrast woman should wear high contrast clothes. I mean, there are some high contrasts, like Soft Summers, which I am, who can wear, but like the blonder or the lighter my hair gets, I'm kind of going into a soft autumn direction, which you can't see because I still look like part of the Addams Family. But there are some people who can still wear pastels even though they have a pretty big contrast, high contrast. She's not one of them. She's a black and white girly. She's a dark blue girl. She's maybe, if she wears it with other colors, she's maybe a soft violet color. She's not in combination with black, obviously. She wears, as Fricka, she wears this purple t-shirt, and above it, she wears this black, I don't know, jacket. So this is okay. If she wears black with it, it's okay. If she's just pink and purple and blue and it's pastel. Nope. Don't do it. Have someone behind the stage saying, hey, I think color theory is a thing. I think if we have people who are happy, who are supposed to be happy, who are good people, make them look good. And I just dare you, I'm not going to show this picture because it's not as beautiful as it should be, because she's beautiful, online, and you can look it up for like, and she's on the stairs and David's above her, kind of, and she's this pink and purple and blue, and it's not pretty. And she's beautiful, again. She's very, very beautiful, but they kind of destroyed her with those pastels. So, this is my main thing about Meistersinger, is this costume. Otherwise, it was very, very good, very funny. I personally still like the conservative version better. Still makes me uncomfortable, the whole German thing. We talked about this. Also, I'm just gonna put this out there, because I don't know if it's true, but I heard like 2 stories about Meistersinger and I'm just gonna tell them. And I don't know if it's true. They're funny, more or less. So I'm just gonna tell you. So what another visitor of the festival told me, or told us because we were riding in the bus together, he said that because the premiere of every season, there's like this whole political thing where a bunch of politicians come and they get filmed and they get photographed and then obviously there's a high security standard, really high. So this year, when it's Chancellor Merz's first year, so this year when he came, there was much security, and apparently people weren't able to get in on time due to this security. I don't know if that's true. But according to this visitor, there were about 40 people who weren't able to get in for the first act. And once the door is closed, the door is closed. You cannot get back in, or you cannot get in if the door is closed. You cannot get in. Full stop. And this costs a lot of money. Let's say it like this. There's a lot of things I want to say about this. This is why I kind of froze before. This costs a lot of money. And the first act is long. It's about, I don't know, 1.5 hours at least. So if you don't get in for the first act, you lose 1.5 hours of Wagner. Plus then the hour of intermission. So you'd kind of sit around for 2.5 hours and you're not able to see it. And you paid a lot of money for it. So, I mean, I hope this is not true. Just saying. I feel really bad for these people. I mean, I get it. And you will see that like on the tape if you look at it in the Mediathek or something. You will see that not all the people were seated when the prelude began. So this is what I knew. This is what you can see. But that there were actually people who weren't able to get in because of the security. This is horrible. I mean, obviously you know that there will be security because it's the first evening and it's premiere and but still, this is really horrible. The second story that I got to know is because this visitor was actually in Meistersinger, like the one before the first Rhinegold and the second Rhinegold and Valkyrie. And he said that Georg Zeppenfeld, who plays Hans Sachs, which is a huge role, he sings even more than Isolde sings. I think she sings about a bit more than 2 hours if you cut everything else out, and he sings about 2.5 to 2:40. So this is a huge role that he took upon himself, and we should just celebrate him for that. But apparently he got sick before that. So what they did is they had the singer, and I'm gonna look his name up because I think he deserves that. At least I'm gonna say it if I can speak his name correctly, because that's my problem. So this was Nicholas Brownlee, who was Donner in Rhinegold. He apparently had his big book. He sang off the sheets while Zeppenfeld played it out scenically with a mask on. Because as we all know, singers and any illness that has got to do with the lungs, no. So he has to wear a mask. This is not a, oh, I'm afraid of COVID thing, so this is legit. He should do that. And kind of Nicholas Brownlee, he had his book, sang off the book, and sang this huge role for Zeppenfeld in this production, on this evening. I don't know which evening it was. Let me look. It should have been, Thursday. Oh yeah, there we are. Okay, good. So on August 14th, it was Nicholas Brownlee who sang it. So they've even got it here. And then apparently for the 19th, they got Michael Vollebeck for this role, for the whole thing, apparently, because Zeppenfeld couldn't do it anymore. Which is sad, which is horrible. And I mean, I'm just an amateur singer, but as soon as something remotely of a sickness of the lungs comes my way and it's just on the other side of the street waving at me, I'm sick. It's really horrible. I don't know. I can only suppose that for someone who does this professionally, it's much worse. So I hope he feels well already. But considering that this was only 5 days ago, and he wasn't able to go on stage, which means that he will not be paid, I suppose. At least that's what they do in normal productions. You get paid for going on stage and not for just hanging around behind the stage, even though you're sick. I think that was, on the other hand, in England that I saw this. I don't know if this is legal in Germany. Normally you get paid when you're sick in Germany. Anyway. But I hope he feels better, and I hope he will feel better, and kudos to Nicholas Brownlee for taking on this massive role and being able to do this. And according to this other visitor, he got a lot of, I don't know if he got standing ovations, but he got a lot of applause, the most out of everyone. Obviously, he should be already this is the biggest role in Meistersinger. He should get the most applause. Just saying. Just putting it out there. Okay. So I think this is all I wanted to say about Meistersinger. It's really about the costume. Come on. Color theory's a thing. Do it. Or at least, I don't know. I don't even know if another foundation could have solved this. I just think it was the pink and then it was done. And she looked so pretty in the black and white in the end. She looked really, really pretty. She was glowing. She was wonderful. I mean, she's always wonderful, but you know what I mean. Anyway, let's get to the ring. So, Rhinegold, and I have teased this in the thoughts during Valkyrie thing, was absolutely fantastic. There was, I don't know, such a celebratory thing going on. There were it was just kind of a celebration. And I've learned so many new things. And unfortunately, you may have seen this in the other video, which was not, out of the 2 looks I did for the ring, this was the worst one. Woohoo! Because we totally need that. But I try to kind of recreate Fricka in a bit. And like when I went in there and I saw that she did not like have her hair like that, which she had like before. By the way, this is my new hair. There's no blonde anymore. And I miss it already. But just have to look for that. Oh, here we are. Wonderful. Then I saw she had her hair completely open, and I was like, oh yeah, they had that last year. And I don't know, I had two of these things where I completely not remembered something, but in the moment when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's what happened last year. Kind of stupid, but I still left my hair like this. And yeah, well, I've got like this many notes of what I mean, I can show you, and you can like do a screenshot or something. But this is so. I just wrote this down like after the evening on the bus, and when I was like having dinner, because the hotel I was staying at, they're really nice, and they have this thing where they can make dinner even after you come home. Even if it's like 11 at night, they will still have a hot meal, and the servers will wait for us, and it's so horrible. I feel so bad for them. But during this dinner, I just kind of wrote this all down. Yeah. Also, I realized something, like after watching the recording that they had from 4 years ago. 3, 4. It's the 4th year of the ring. That there was something that I saw for the first time now that was there all along. I just didn't get it before. Anyway, and it's not in order whatsoever. Just gonna say like the high points of what I saw. First of all, Fafner came onto Fricka, and here we've got a problem, Fafner, because I'm gonna defend this woman with my life. I hated Fricka always till this production, and then I was like, she's right. Honestly, she's right. It is what it is. She's right in what she's doing. Here we are. And I'm gonna defend her. And if you come on to her ever again, which you will not because it's the last year of this production, then we're gonna have a talk. Just saying. I'm just thinking of what he would say if he saw this video and he was like, yeah, this teeny tiny little girl, she's gonna beat me up. And I'm like, no, we're just gonna talk. No. This got off rail really fast. Anyway, he kind of came onto her, like while she was standing. She was standing on the stairs to like the upper half of the set, and he was like, I can't even do this on camera. I'll probably get demonetized. Anyway, just he came onto her, okay? Wotan did not get this. Maybe you should like me. But I kind of had the feeling that there was a history there. I don't know why. I just had the feeling that there was a history. Like maybe like the brothers were into the sisters. You get what I mean? I mean, Fasold is in love with Freya. Why should not Fafner have been in love with Fricka? And he's like mad at Wotan for getting her away. I love this ring. It like gets me thinking. By the way, Valentin Schwarz, if you're watching this, my ass, no one knows who Siegfried's father is. Wotan says it. Mein Sohn. He says it. My son. Bloody hell, and I didn't see it because it's normally not a scene that I concern myself with because there's no woman in it. And I'm still a pseudo actress, let's be real. And I just love the scenes more where someone I can identify with, and that's mostly women, is a part of. But I got like recently my new Reclam because my old is like dying of the ring, and I like went through with it and broke it in. And then there was like Wotan saying mein Sohn. And I was like, is he really? Is he actually saying that? Like, it might be that just Wotan thinks Siegfried's his son, because he just slept with his daughter and she slept with someone else as well, and then... let's not go there. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, Fafner came onto Fricka. I had a feeling that there was a history there. Just saying. Okay. Also, but this is an idea that I kind of got out very fast, is how Loge looked. He looked very much alike to like the brother and sister in Götterdämmerung, Gunther and Gudrune. They looked very, very similar. And I was like, could there be, like, could Loge have kind of gotten all this money from somewhere and given it to his descendants and they bought Valhall? Like, is there... I don't know. I'm not quite sure about this theory. I think not. But there was just this striking similarity. Also, yeah, there's a lot about Fricka and Wotan, which we're not going to go into that. But what was like really sweet was there's in the end, he says to her, "Folge mir, Frau, in Valhall wohne mit mir." So follow me, woman, which is, by the way, an honorary title for the times. It was, there was the two things. There was wife, which is a vibe, and woman, which is Frau. And woman/Frau is more of a title for a person who is either equally as high in status or higher than you. For example, Tristan calls Isolde his woman, seine Frau, in the third act. Just saying, this is not like degrading in any way. Just says, "Folge mir, Frau." Anyway, and she was like going to him, and they were like standing very close together. And then there was something, I think, in the corner of her eye, and she was like turning, and he like very... I thought this was so sweet. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say, he like put his hand on her face and like got her back to look at him, which I thought was cute. Also, like they went then hand in hand, like back to the other stairs, because there's not enough stairs in this case. And he was like always reaching for her, because at one point they lost their hands, and he was reaching for her hand again, and he was like pressing it repeatedly, which I thought was really sweet. And like, I don't know, it showed their friendship, because it's not part of the script. Yeah. I always like this, because obviously they have great chemistry. That's why I went specifically in Rhinegold and Valkyrie, just to see them, those two together again. And just to have this and kind of this friendship that's developing, that's really unique, according to an interview that I heard with Waltraud Meyer, not Christa Meyer, Waltraud Meyer, that this is just a special place for friendships that can also transcend if you meet them again at other places, but that will only be in Bayreuth, which is not rivalry, which is not like rivals, but you know, what did she say? I think she said, you know exactly when you're sitting at that table that there are at least 5 singers here who could sing your role as good as you or better than you. And there was no rivalry, but just friendship. And I thought that was really cute. Just saying that. I like those two together. I think they should be on stage together more often. I mean, there are some people who repeatedly go on stage together, but I think those two should be going on stage together more. On the other hand, there are not that many like baritone mezzo-soprano things, so I suppose this is one of the only ones. But well, anyway, the one thing that I was like, yeah, wow, well, I never saw that before, and then I looked into the recording of 2022 and was like, oh yeah, it was there all along, I just didn't see it, was that the ring, the kind of beat up ring, you know what I mean? This 4-part ring, which you can like hurt someone really bad, which Hagen later uses to kill Siegfried, is in this case used by Fafner to kill Fasold. And Hagen, the child in the yellow t-shirt, he sees that. That's what we call trauma, but never mind. Anyway, this is what I totally overlooked for some reason. And I was like, wow. Anyway, it's great. There's just so many details, and this is what I love about this production. Because there's so many details, I could look at it 100 times and I could still find something new. It's like reading Harry Potter, basically. You can always say, wait, was that always there, this passage about? I don't know what. Like, that's what it is for me. Also, I think it's clear that, like, for the Valkyrie, they've got this like cube with a pyramid in it, and underneath the pyramid there's the pistol or the revolver or something that Siegmund later tries to use to kill Hunding, which he doesn't, unfortunately, because why not? And in this case, when Wotan initially put the revolver or the pistol or whatever underneath the pyramid, the magazine was out. Just saying this. Just putting it out there. Make out of it what you will. Loki put it in back. Woohoo! Because immediately after that, Freya takes it, and by the way, I don't know, I still felt so horrible for Freya, and like everyone tried to cheer her up, not realizing what horrible things she has gone through. Like, also, this was new. Just remember this. Normally, Fafner and Fasold, when they come back, they're like still impeccably dressed. It's just Freya who is deranged. Not deranged, but disheveled. You get what I mean? But in this case, it was like Fafner was still impeccable. Fasold, he was like, he had his shirt open and his tie was hanging loosely around his neck and stuff. It was like, okay, as if we didn't know before what was going on. And it was really horrible. And I just felt so bad for her. And I think it's important for us to see that on stage, what this can do to someone, for those of us who don't have someone close to us who has suffered this, and to make this more visible. I can't really say what this is, you know what this is, because I don't want to get demonetized, and I always say I don't want to get demonetized, but yada yada yada. Also, my other heartbreak moment was there's this scene when Erda sings, and she was great. The singer of Erda, wow. It was a pretty young woman, and she, wow. Just saying, great. And there is this moment when Wotan and Erda like standing together, and the other child, the girl, is standing between them, and they're just looking like this perfect family image. And I saw from behind of them, there was like Fricka, she was leaning kind of on her side a bit, on the sofa, like clutching her belly, indicating that she was never able to have children, to give him this and to give herself this. And kind of my heart broke for her, because you read it all the time of women who are infertile and IVF doesn't work and this and that, and I don't know, she played that so beautifully. I mean, I don't know if there was a history of that anywhere near her or with her or something, but I don't know, she played this so deeply. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's already 50 minutes. How is it already 50 minutes? Anyway, next thing is Flosshilde likes Alberich. Just gonna put it out there. She felt like very, oh, why we are beating him up, but yeah, I'm just gonna be like on the side of this. And I mean, she got in, but was like half-heartedly. So also, I didn't realize that before. I think it was there all along. Was that like Wotan was with other women in the video that Loge played, which also made my heart break for Fricka again, because this guy is not caring for her well enough. Let's be real. And the next thing, and I don't know if I saw that clearly. I'm not sure. But I think I saw the director, Valentin Schwarz, in this video. Because there are not that many guys with like this black curly hair that he has and this whiter skin. Was he in that video? I think so. I was like, oh no, they're not doing that. But was he there? Could be. Anyway, loved Rhinegold. Loved it so much. Saw so many things that either they changed or that I didn't see before. It was really wonderful. I wish, again, as I always do, I wish I would have this production. I wish I would have this evening specifically on DVD to like relive it always. Yeah. So the Valkyrie was against this phenomenal Rhinegold. A bit disappointing. I don't know, it was a completely different vibe. I mean, Rhinegold was completely celebratory. And I felt like there was so much fun, there was so much, I don't know what, on stage. And I mean, honestly, either Tomasz Konieczny broke Christa Meyer's heart at the very evening or on the day after that, but they were so good. There was still chemistry, you know, but there was, how do I put this? But they felt like inconceivable. No, still inconsolable with each other, and was like they were so mad at each other. It felt very, very real. Also, and this is where I'm personally cross with Christa Meyer, and this really breaks my heart, as we all know. She did not show up for the final bow. She left. There was this thing when, like, initially the curtain goes up and they all bow, and the curtain goes down and the people come out, either one by one or the Valkyries as a group, etc. She did not come out again. And I was like fully prepared to like scream my lungs out at this point, because I loved it so much. I love her in this role. It's wonderful. And she and Konieczny, you know it. And she didn't show up. I don't know if this was a political statement. I've told you in the other video that there was a specific political leader in the audience. She was like sitting a few places away from me, behind me, which was really, really weird because, yeah, I don't know, it was a different vibe. Just, I don't know. Maybe it was because of her, maybe it was not, just they had a bad day or something. I don't know, it was a completely different vibe. Obviously, the Valkyrie itself has a completely different vibe than, but still. was a bit weird. So I was a bit disappointed with the Valkyrie against this phenomenal Rhinegold. But we just have to say this is disappointment on a very, very high level, which is the same with Meistersinger, which is the same with Lohengrin. I mean, I'm really nitpicking here. The costume thing, I mean, honestly, who can blame them? They don't have enough money. They don't apparently have someone who says she's an icon. No, never mind. You know what I mean. But anyway, they didn't change that much, or at least I didn't get that much changed. Like, there's still the deodorant thing in Rhinegold, which I haven't talked about, because I think it's a bit weird and a bit degrading for Fricka. But we don't talk about things here that are degrading for Fricka. She's my girl. I'm gonna defend her. She's my Roman Empire, basically. And like they didn't change that much in the Valkyrie compared to earlier years, compared to like the 2022 recording. Very different. But compared to like earlier years, there was not that much different. I think they stood away. Like when the Wotan tries to seduce Fricka to get what he wants. Not in this way, but also in this way. And they like stood away a bit from the sofa, and this was the other moment where I was like, oh yeah, they did that last year. And this was that Fricka, it was visible, and yes, I know I always talk about Fricka, but she's, you really saw her struggling with this. You really saw her thinking, maybe I should just give in, and then I get him back, and then everything will be okay, and he will treat me better for 2 weeks or something. And you really saw her going into that, leaning into him a bit, which is more than they do normally, or at least on the recording. So you really saw her when she was looking at him, like, I don't know, I can't describe it because it's so great. Anyway, yeah, bit disappointed with Valkyrie, disappointment on a high level, just as with Meistersinger and Lohengrin. This was all I saw this year. And yeah, like, I spent most of my, I spent a lot of money, let's not say most of it. It's not most of it. I spent a lot of money, like, in Bayreuth, because Bayreuth is for me what the Eras Tour was for Swifties. Yeah. And I would not pay like $80 for a cardigan, just saying. But I'm gonna pay 20 euros for a good Wagnerian t-shirt, because they're really high quality and I love the kind of sentences they have got on them. I may do a haul when I get back home, but I'm not sure. First of all, if I can find all the things together that I bought, it's like a cookie cutter that I bought, and like a little mug, obviously, because we don't have enough mugs. I don't know about you, we have enough mugs. So for me, this is a joke if I say we don't have enough mugs. Anyway, yeah, I think that was mostly it. Also, like, I'm going to Neuschwanstein within the next days, so, but I like need if I upload this today, so then if you like write me down in the comments that I should make a video of Neuschwanstein, just the outside again, because you're not allowed to film on the inside. So write me in the comments if you want to have a video of me like going up there. And yeah, it's not only Neuschwanstein that I'm going to visit, but also the other castle, which is like, there are two mountains, one's Neuschwanstein and one's Hohenschwangau, in which the king grew up. So write down in the comments or leave a like if you would want to have a video of that. So, this was it for today. Bye, my dear Valkyries. And bye to you all. Have a nice day. Yeah. Also, we've got now 12 Valkyries, which I find insane. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, for one subscriber, I got one Valkyrie. I got an email with their name, like Blue Wolf. I didn't get one for the other ones, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you so much for subscribing to me. I would have never thought that. Yeah, Wagner seems to be a niche on here. Bye, have a nice day.